Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in to this week's episode of the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. I'm Matt Cobold here in Denver, Colorado. Joining me from Nashville, Tennessee, my guy Max Faulkner. Max, we got a juicy episode. They're always juicy, but we got a full one again tonight.
No doubt about it. Think of like the juiciest sandwich that you can think of. Are we talking like a medium burger, like a juicy burger, a little bit of pink, just a little bit of pink in that burger? We're talking a juicy steak. Is there steak sandwiches? Yeah, there's a steak sandwich.
Steak and shrooms.
Come on.
Steak and shrooms.
Now, Philly cheesesteak to me, I don't believe is too. It's more cheesy than I would say juicy. Can we agree with that, Cole Breezy?
I don't want too much cheese these days. I don't want too much cheese with my sandwiches.
Clogs your butthole. That's the exact reason, right? Once you get older, your butthole clogs up a little bit quicker. Okay, no doubt about it. You don't want to deal with constipation. Otherwise, we got to call Dr. Serlin. I don't.
Oh well, just since you want to talk about a potential sponsor here, Dr. Serlin's here in the from the northern Indiana region. You put this on somewhere you're chafed, somewhere where you got a rash maybe. You put this on, you go to bed screaming like a baby. You wake up a new man like nothing ever happened. Okay, I'm a user. Max, I know you've used it
a couple times.
Since you called it out, might as well shout out Dr. Serlin's today.
But yes, Cole Breezy, we have a juicy episode, not a cheesy one. We have a juicy episode. A lot of things to talk about. We got to jump into some college basketball, which we cannot wait for. Our favorite sport, our favorite brand of sports in general. So I can't wait, Cole Breezy. But what else is going on with you, man? Any new updates over there?
No new updates. Excited for Thanksgiving coming up. Got a lot of food and football and fun to have with family. Looking forward to that. But this week on the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast, like you said, we got NFL to talk about. Got a couple highlights to hit. Got our game picks. Got our extra juicy dogs as usual. But yeah, Max, let's start with our favorite sport, college basketball, because we had basically the tip-off of the season last night, the Champions Classic in Chicago at the United Center.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, the game of the year so far was that Kansas-Kentucky game last night. Oh, boy. In my opinion, game of the year. Kansas, my Jayhawks, they came back from a 14-point second-half deficit to take down Kentucky 89-84. Kansas took some bad shots and had too many turnovers in that first half.
Yep.
Forced it into Dickinson a little bit too much. You have to feed Dickinson. You have to feed him.
Get him the damn ball.
Forcing it down there a little bit too much. Kentucky had more energy. They were more aggressive. Definitely were more athletic than the Jayhawks. But, during a few of those runs, the cameras would pan over to Bill Self. He is so cool and calm and collected on the sidelines. It kept me calm. Kentucky, they hit 6 more threes and had 15 offensive rebounds. If you hit 6 more threes than your opponent and hit the offensive glass 15 times, you're winning those games.
Yeah.
But Kansas, they shot 48% from the floor, took 36 free throws, had 22 assists, and closed the game on an 11-1 run. That experience, it really paid off down the stretch. Antonio Reeves, you brought him up earlier. He led the Wildcats with 24 points and 8 boards, but was 3 of 17 from 3.
Oh, my,
17.
He shot 17 3-pointers
and made 3 of them. Kentucky, as a team, they actually attempted 38 threes.
Oh, my goodness.
Which broke the record by 5 for the most 3-point attempts under John Calipari at Kentucky. This broke John Calipari's record at Kentucky by 5 for most three-point attempts in a game. Hunter Dickinson, the big dog, had 27 points and a career-high 21 rebounds. Woo-hoo. Previous career high was 16 boards. He hit the glass 21 times, hit 10 of 11 free throws. He had a big game, along with DeJuan Harris, who had a career-high 23 points on 5 of 6 from 3 to go along with 7 assists. They were just daring him to shoot, not even getting a hand up on him.
Especially towards the end of the game, when he knocked 2 big threes in a row.
Huge.
Put a hand up. Put a
Put
hand up.
up.
What the hell was that?
This is a national championship winning point guard we're talking about.
You're right about that.
Lastly, Kevin McCullough, the do-it-all wing. He had 12 points, 10 boards, 10 assists, the third triple-double in Kansas basketball program history. Max, give me your thoughts on all those stats and this 89-84 win that Kansas had over Kentucky.
First, you got to say, coming back from a 14-point deficit
in the second half.
In the second half, if there's one team that can do it, it is Kansas. Okay, you can never leave that team out. Here's the difference between a Kansas team led by Bill Self with leaders on the team compared to Kentucky, led by the best recruiter in the game, not the best coach, the best recruiter in the game, and a bunch of freshmen and young bucks. The ball movement of Kansas is just beautiful. Oh my goodness. Especially towards the end of the game. There was a point where you guys were down 6, it might have been 8 that I saw. And the composure that you had to move the ball around, get the wide open shot, and then go back and play defense and force Kentucky to shoot another 3-pointer. It's towards the end of the game. Okay, once again, ball moving from Kansas, get the easy bucket with McDermott. Kentucky barely moving the ball. Let's shoot a 3. Let's just chuck up a 3-pointer. Okay, I would like to know the stats. I didn't look it up. How many 3-pointers they took with the last 2 minutes of the game on the line? How many 3-pointers out of those 38 that they took
chucked them
in those last 2 minutes? They were just chucking. So that's from their youth. You got to learn that you're not Steph Curry. No one. Hey, guess what, everybody? Guess what? All the young ones out there, you're not Steph Curry. You will never be Steph Curry.
Nope.
Move on. There's only one Steph Curry ever. That's how it's going to be. Okay, so drive the damn ball. Drive to the back. Like Antonio Reeves, part of the reason why you had 20, what was it, 25 points, 23? 24 is because you were driving to the basket. You were driving to the basket, making contact and finishing strong. And then you decided, I'm going to start shooting 3-pointers at the end. But,
Deuces.
You got to be happy with Kansas, Cole Breezy. McDermott is looking like player of the year after seeing that.
Dickinson.
I'm sorry. What did I say?
McDermott twice now.
Dickinson by far is looking like player of the year. He's looking really, really good.
Give me your thoughts on that big 3 to finish us out here for the Kansas Jayhawks. Dickinson with 27 and career high 21, DeJuan Harris with a career high 23, and then Kevin McCullough with a triple-double. Give me your thoughts on that big 3.
Damn, McCullough had a triple-double?
12, 10, and 10.
Damn, what a beast. I didn't even it's funny because he's under the radar on that game. You're looking at DeJuan Harris, you're looking at Dickinson, and I'm not even thinking about this guy, but damn, a triple. That's a big 3 right there, no doubt about it, Cole Breezy. You got to be excited.
Very excited for the Kansas Jayhawks moving forward. The other game at the Champions Classic, the game that started the night off, was the Duke Blue Devils and the Michigan State Spartans. One of these teams was leaving Tuesday night with a losing record, and it ended up being the Spartans of Michigan State. They lost 74-65 to Duke. Max, this was a sloppy game to start.
Yeah.
Duke had 16 possessions in the first 10 minutes. They had 8 turnovers. 8 turnovers in those 16 possessions. That is so sloppy. Overall, the team stats in this game, they're very close. They're very close. But the biggest one that stood out for me was the free throw disparity. Duke attempted 30 free throws compared to Michigan State's 12. Duke was just a more aggressive team here. The Blue Devils, they were led by freshman Caleb Foster. He had a coming out party. He led the Blue Devils with 18 points on 7 of 8 shooting. He didn't even attempt a shot in the game against Arizona. Didn't even attempt a shot in the game against Arizona the previous game. 3 other Dukies were in double figures. The Spartans were led again by Tyson Walker. He had 22 points, connecting on 3 of 5 from deep. Michigan State shot 6 of 19 from 3 after going 2 for 31 in their first 2 games. Now, we knew this was going to be a big factor moving forward. There's 3-point shooting. They shot 2 of 31 in the first 2 games, 6 of 19 in this one. Better. Michigan State, they continue to commit lazy fouls by their big men. over the back fouls on the other side of the court. Malik Hall had 4. Matty Sissoko had 3 lazy ones, and Carson Cooper actually fouled out coming off the bench. Max, give me your thoughts on these numbers, these stats, and this win that Duke had over Michigan State, 74-65, to make Tom Izzo and the Spartans 1-2.
Yeah, sloppy game. It was definitely a sloppy Joe, okay, from both teams. And it's not a good sloppy Joe. I like sloppy Joes. Okay, speaking of sandwiches, I'm a big fan of sloppy Joes.
Hungry tonight. Couple sandwich references.
It's been a while since I had a sloppy Joe. That might be on the menu tomorrow night. But as far as basketball goes, man, like this, I thought that this was going to be a better game. Don't get me wrong. There was a point where Michigan State was coming back. Taiwan Walker was draining some threes, doing his thing. If there's one upside with Michigan State, it's Taiwan Walker.
Tyson.
So I'm who's that? Taiwan Walker is a pitcher in the MLB. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Sorry, everybody. My hair's all messed up, and I guess I'm
fucking flustered now.
I'm all flustered. I'm all
and Dickinson McDermott.
Tyson Walker looks really good. I would expect Hogard to be doing better than what he's been doing.
Yeah.
I'm really hearing nothing about him. And you're right about the bigs. Like you use your ass, box them out, and then go get a rebound. Don't just go over the back and whatnot.
So many also lazy.
And then also Duke, they're not looking that good. I mean, it's the beginning of the year. Okay, let's not freak out. But they're also looking sloppy. Do they have any senior leadership? Do they have anything, or is this another youth team?
They got a big man, Ryan Young. Jeremy Roach is an upperclassman at point guard.
Yeah,
they got a couple leaders, but it's definitely freshman and sophomore filled. As usual.
It's usually how it is. You're right. They got a lot to learn. Both teams do. You would expect more from Michigan State with a bunch of seniors and juniors on the team. They'll figure it out. They're going to figure it out towards the end of the year. We said it last week. They start out slow. They heat up towards the end going into the tournament. So nothing out of the ordinary.
I want to look at Michigan State real quick just to finish out this game. Here's a fun nugget for you here, Max. Tom Izzo is 3-14 all time against Duke.
Oh,
3-14.
Okay.
Got a quote from Izzo after the game. Quote, "Give me blame because I've had different players and still lost. So it's got to be the coach." End quote. So I like taking some ownership. I like taking that ownership. Izzo 3-14 all time against Duke. Max, we talked about it last week after their loss to James Madison. I think Michigan State has a talent discrepancy. I don't think they have the ballers that they're used to, that they've had in the past. I just excuse me. I went through just over the last few years since 2014 their NBA players. Now these aren't really huge names, but there's not one of these guys on Michigan State's roster right now. Joey Hauser, Max Christie, Aaron Henry, Cassius Winston, Xavier Tillman, Miles Bridges, Jaren Jackson Jr., Deontay Davis, Denzel Valentine, Bryn Forbes, Adrian Payne, your guy Brandon Dawson, Keith Appling.
Ooh, I remember Brandon Dawson. Yeah. My high school played against those guys. Scored like 30 points.
Keith Appling, and then if we go back to 2012, I'll throw in Draymond Green. I don't think there's an NBA player on this Michigan State roster. They're missing that dog, that top level talent.
Yeah.
Michigan State doesn't have it. They'll be a tournament team, but I don't think they're going to be top 2 in the Big Ten. I wouldn't put them second.
I like that projection. Yeah, there's not much more you got to say. That they got to figure something out there. They got to figure out the leadership. They got to figure out how to work together. Okay, you can't just have Tyson Walker dribble, shoot. You got to move the ball.
Staying in the Big Ten here, Max, we just want to talk about your Purdue Boilermakers, and they're out to a hot start. Undefeated again here in November. Give me your thoughts on your Boilers through, 3 games?
3 games, and we are 3-0, everybody. Hasn't really been a contest. The best contest that we had was our last game against Xavier. Xavier is a good basketball school, okay? They put up a fight, but Purdue was on top the entire game. Let me go ahead and tell you the score. They won 83-71. Zach Edey let's talk some stats right now, Cole Breezy. Come on. Last game, he had 28 points, 11 rebounds, 4 blocks. He had this one block towards the end of the game. I swear I thought the backboard shattered. He smacked that ball so hard. I'm surprised the ball didn't pop. I'll tell you right now. It is very exciting to see him be aggressive on defense. And he had one foul. One foul. That's I love it.
Impressive.
4 blocks with one foul. He's oh yeah. At the free throw line, everybody. This guy's 7'4", again, 200. He might be 85 pounds now, 285 because he lost some weight. How about it? He lost some weight. But he shot 10 of 11 from the free throw line. A 7'4" big man that can knock down free throws.
Very impressive.
Right now, to lead off the year, he's averaging 20.7 points per game. That will go up. He's averaging 10 rebounds per game. That's going to go up. 61.3% field goal percentage. That'll go up. And he's shooting 80% from the free throw line. I hope it stays right there. I would love that. Now, one other player I want to bring up, everybody, is Braden Smith, our point guard, sophomore, surprised a lot of faces last year with his leadership as a freshman. That guy's a dog, man. He is just a pure basketball player. Like when he's on the court, that's all he thinks about. I tell you right now, he's not thinking about girls. He's not thinking about going to the movies with girls. He's thinking
girls
basketball.
Those, huh?
He's thinking of basketball. Last game, he had 12 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds. Okay, this is a guy that's going to be averaging, I'm thinking 12, 7, and 7 at the end of the year. Okay, I think that he can be in that conversation for a couple of triple doubles.
Whoa.
Purdue shot 50.9% from the field. Okay, 46.7% from 3-pointers,
blistering,
and 85.7% from the free throw line. They were 18 of 21. They are looking real good to start. They had 19 assists. Now, one thing that I will say, when you have a 7'4" big man, you have another couple of guys that are 6'10", 34 rebounds, that's not enough. Okay, that should be well into the 40s. They're going to figure it out. They're going to get there. Next game, everybody, is against the Gonzaga Bulldogs in the Maui Invitational. We will be talking about that at a later note. But right now, me being the biggest Purdue Boilers fan here on the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast, great start.
Heck yeah, man. Great start for the Boilers, up to number 2 now. You mentioned Zach Edey trimmed about 10 pounds, I heard. He's looking good. 4 blocks, 1 foul. That's impressive. That's what I said a couple weeks ago. I want 3.5 to 4 blocks a game from Edey. And Braden Smith, yeah, he's a dog, former Mr. Indiana. I like Braden Smith. He seems like he's going to be a 4 or 5 year leader for Matt Painter and the Boilermakers.
Yep.
To continue this college basketball talk here on the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast this week, we want to just talk about 4 upsets that happened over ranked teams since we last talked last Wednesday. Okay, we're sitting here right now on November 15th. Last Friday night, the Cougars of BYU, they beat 17th ranked San Diego State 74-65.
Championship team San Diego State goes down early to BYU. Okay.
BYU hit 5 more threes. They were plus 10 on the boards. And they were led by sophomore Dallin Hall with 18 points off the bench.
Oh, shit. Okay.
San Diego State, they were led by senior Jaden Ledee with 21 points and 7 boards. Max, what do you think about this upset that the Mormons had over the Aztecs?
It's been a while since we've seen BYU actually have a good team and actually make the dance. Maybe Jimmer Fredette? Am I right?
So.
Man.
So. Yeah.
That was a while ago. But if I'm not mistaken, didn't Jimmer Fredette show up in the locker room and surprise everybody after that win? I want to say I thought I saw that. I thought I saw that. I
don't know. Okay. You might have.
All right. Jimmer's in the building, everybody. He was in the building. He had to be. Anyway, what else is he going to do? What else is he doing?
True.
He's a legend there. He's a legend. San Diego State, I mean, this is a big loss for them, but they'll turn it around. The thing with San Diego State is that they're a defensive team. BYU got hot at the 3-pointers. When you're a defensive team, that's what you're trying to push. That's what you're trying to allow, is let them shoot. And well, when a team is just drilling threes, there's not really much you can do. So good win by BYU. San Diego State, they'll figure it out.
The Mormons drilled something that night. Nope. Moving into Sunday, we had another upset. We had the Weber State Wildcats, Dame Lillard's alma mater.
Yeah.
They went to California. They took on St. Mary's, that was ranked 23rd at the time. They beat them 61-57. St. Mary's was plus 15 on the boards and plus 6 in assists. Still lost. They just
What?
don't score enough points.
Oh, my
57
goodness.
points. They don't score.
They're always like that. They're a defensive team. That's ridiculous.
Weber State shot slightly better across the board to sneak out this win. They were better field goals, threes, free throws, just slightly better to sneak out this win. Junior Dylan Jones led the Wildcats with 29 points and 10 boards on 11 of 20 shooting while playing all 40 minutes.
Oh, snap.
Now,
Damn.
I believe a lot of people picked the Gales to win the West Coast Conference championship over Gonzaga.
Oh, okay.
No way, boys. No way.
Get out of here.
Give me your thoughts on this upset.
There's nothing really much else to say other than when come on, you're plus 15 on the boards. How do you not win? How do you not
Seriously.
win? That just goes to show you that you have a problem on the offensive end. You guys can't score.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Okay, move the ball around. Or maybe they're moving the ball around too much. Maybe they're passing up wide open shots. Like, we need to get closer. We need to get closer into the hoop. We need layups. Only layups, everybody. Only layups. I don't know what else to tell you other than that. St. Mary's is going to be a team that goes up for, I don't know, they're going to be 26-8, 27-7. It's usually how they are.
On the bubble.
On the bubble, too, with that record. But this is not a good loss. So, but maybe Weber State ends up being one of those Cinderella teams. Maybe that'd be fun. I always like seeing the Cinderellas. So, okay.
Let's keep our eyes on another Wildcat, the Weber State Wildcat.
Another one. Okay, can we stop with the Wildcats, everybody? You're going to hear this a lot. We already talked about a Wildcat earlier in Kentucky. Now we got Weber State Wildcats. What happened to, there's so many different animals out there. Many. We could do the hippopotamuses, okay, aerodactyls, rhinos. Yeah, let's go to dinosaurs, aerodactyls. Okay, that's cool. Triceratops, that'd be badass. The Triceratops.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway.
Too many Wildcats. Another upset. This one came on Monday night. The Quakers of Pennsylvania. They beat 21st ranked Villanova, another Wildcat, 76-72. Penn shot 51% from the field and 41% from three, but had twice as many turnovers than Nova. They had 14 turnovers compared to 7. Senior Justin Moore, he led Villanova in this losing effort with 25 points and 7 boards. All 5 starters scored in double figures for the Quakers, led by freshman Tyler Perkins, who had 22 and 6 boards. I want to look at Villanova real quick here, Max. Kyle Neptune, the new coach. He's 19-17 in his second season after taking over for Hall of Famer Jay Wright. Did not make the big dance last year, was preseason ranked last year, and didn't make the big dance. Preseason ranked again this year. They already lose to Penn. In-state rivalry, it's not a rivalry, excuse me. It's a little bro, big bro situation. You just got beat by your little bro.
By an Ivy League.
You worried about Villanova again this year?
Definitely worried about Villanova. They were supposed to make a jump from last season. Losing to Penn is not good. Don't get me wrong. Once again, this is early. Maybe Penn has this miraculous team in the Ivy League, like Princeton last year. Princeton did a great job. They went to the Sweet 16. So, it could be that team. But real quick, if I hear another team that's a Wildcat,
Kansas State,
I will meow the rest. We're not talking about Kansas State. You just named out another team. Okay, if we bring up another team that's a Wildcat that we're supposed to talk about today, I'll tell you right now, I'll be meowing for the rest of the time and licking my paws.
I like it. Oh, licking your paws, huh? Like the big cat, Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, right. Villanova, they are not the same since Jay Wright left. Not the same.
No.
Jay Wright is just an all-around better coach. If we were to do the history of coaches, he might make a top 15 at least.
Yeah.
Top 10, maybe.
Yeah. Multiple Final Fours. I think 2 championships. Definitely.
Yeah.
Tough to follow a legend like that. Kyle Neptune, 19-17 so far in his two seasons, Villanova. Last upset we want to talk about happened last night on Tuesday night. UC Irvine, the Anteaters, they went in to Pasadena, California, and took down the Trojans of
Oh, that's a big
USC,
one.
ranked 16th. They beat them 70-60. Max, we had no Boogie Ellis or Kobe Johnson, the team's second and third leading scorers in this one. USC shot 29% from the floor and
Oh,
19% from deep. Woo!
oh no, oh no.
The Anteaters of UC Irvine, they were plus 10 in assists and had 7 fewer turnovers than the Trojans. They took care of the ball, shared it. Freshman Isaiah Collier, we talked about him, what was it, last week? He's my freshman of the year. He led USC with 23 points on 11 of 13 shooting from the free throw line.
Nice.
UC Irvine, they were led by senior Justin Hone, who had 25 points on 10 of 16 shooting. What do you think about this upset with the Trojans?
Huge upset. Okay, there's so many University of California schools, by the way. UC Irvine, UC Santa Barbara,
UC San Diego.
UC San Diego, UC there's another UC Davis. There's
Mm-hmm.
so many of them, and there's always that one UC team that makes the dance. Okay, maybe it's the Anteaters this year. I want to say UC Irvine a while back had a 30-3 year. I want to say that was a couple, maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
Definitely made the tournament in the last couple of years, yeah.
It might have been longer than that. It might have been when I was teaching.
Yeah.
And yeah, how about that? That would have been a long time. But as far as USC goes, they were missing a couple players. I'm not freaking out about that yet, but it does sound like that this is a team that when a player goes down, they do not have someone on the bench that can step up. So that's going to make you a little bit nervous. It might just be a starting five kind of team. Once the bench comes in, you're shaking your little boots.
I definitely want to watch out for UC Irvine this year. And yeah, if no Boogie Ellis, no Kobe Johnson, the team's second and third leading scorers, it's going to be tough to win without those guys. It will
Definitely.
be. Shooting 29% from the floor? No way. Last college basketball topic that we want to discuss here this week on the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. I woke up this morning to a text message from our buddy Ben Powell. Ben Powell hit me up,
Good old
and
Ben.
he said not enough people are talking about this game. Not enough people talking about this game that happened tonight. And damn it, I want to, because this is a Purdue Boilermaker PTSD game. We got the St. Peter's Peacocks.
Oh, the fucking Peacocks. I'll give them respect for being the only peacock out there. Better than a damn wildcat.
They went on the road to take on the Knights of Fairleigh Dickinson.
Oh,
So, people,
wonderful.
if we don't know, Fairleigh Dickinson was the team that took down Purdue last year in the 16-1 upset.
With 27-year-olds.
The year before that, in the Sweet 16, the Peacocks of St. Peter's, they took down the Boilermakers. They had Final Four aspirations. So these two teams knocked out the Boilers over the last two March Madnesses. What do you think about this matchup tonight and this PTSD game for the Boilers?
If you're asking, am I going to put it on? No.
Nope.
I'm not. If it's on ESPN Plus later on tonight when my wife's falling asleep, maybe.
Wasn't even broadcasted. Wasn't on
okay.
ESPN Plus. It already happened. Already over. Fairleigh Dickinson actually got this one done on their home court, 71-70.
Yeah, with their 27-year-olds going on 28.
I don't know about all that, but that parlays us into talking about Fairleigh Dickinson's new locker room upgrade. Okay. Now, I was surprised to hear this story come out this week. Donations poured into FDU's bank account after their monumental 16-1 upset of Purdue.
Oh, really?
In last season's NCAA tournament. FDU formerly used a community shower with dripping shower heads as their film room. FDU watched film in a community shower. They were saying dudes couldn't pay attention because they were getting dripped on. That's wild for Division I university.
That's interesting.
Donors helped the school reach their $500,000 target. The community shower has been renovated into a new film room, and a separate locker room was added. What do you think about these guys playing Division I basketball, watching film in just a community shower.
I have never heard of that.
Dripping shower heads on them.
As the athletic director, you can't find them a classroom.
Whoa, seriously, a classroom.
Now I'm interested. What's going on in the classrooms? Okay, are there classrooms? Are they? Did they have to bring umbrellas to block the sun as they sit down on the gravel?
Might be out in the lot.
Out in the parking lot. Is it like a drive-in movie? You just pull up and the teacher's on a megaphone. Okay, today, and that it's good news for Fairleigh Dickinson because that's unheard of, especially Division One. So that's a major upgrade for them. I'm sure these 28-year-olds going on 29. I think they're gonna
that has not been confirmed.
They're gonna love a new locker room to wash themselves.
Compared to the same period last year, Fairleigh Dickinson's enrollment has risen 32% this year, while their online apparel sales have increased by 327% after their historic upset.
Nice.
The school also announced a TV deal with Yes Network to broadcast their games. Max, will you be getting subscription to the Yes Network?
Where do you even find that? Where do you even ask for that? You
gotta be an app.
You gotta go to Comcast, Xfinity, or whatever. Camcast, Xfinity. You're gonna, hey, you guys got Yes? They're gonna, well, Yes, we'll give you a good. What do you mean? What are we talking about?
No.
Yes. I went with Fairleigh Dickinson. The guys, the 29-year-olds going on 30.
No, it's getting older. You're adding a year every time now. Moving along here this week on the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast, we want to get into our NFL talk. This podcast started as a fantasy football podcast, and we gotta pay respect to some football here.
Yeah.
And first, we got breaking news out of Cleveland, Ohio. Deshaun Watson will undergo season-ending surgery to repair a broken bone in his throwing shoulder.
Ooh.
The 28-year-old Watson suffered the injury during the first half against the Ravens last week. Surgery is expected next week, and the team believes he'll make a full recovery and be ready for the start of next season. Watson has played 6 games in each of his 2 seasons in Cleveland. He finished this season completing 61% of his passes for 7 touchdowns and 4 picks with 1 score on the ground. But he had a 5-1 record. In those games. His $230 million contract is fully guaranteed. What do you think about Deshaun Watson and him going down here?
Bummer for the Browns because that's the quarterback that you want to hopefully push you into the playoffs. I don't even know who their backup is. Who is it?
So they actually have come out and named Dorian Thompson-Robinson the starter this week against the Steelers over PJ Walker, which is a little puzzling to me, but they're going with the rookie out of UCLA.
Yeah, when we were talking preseason, I kept on saying that Deshaun Watson, because I think I had him low, like not top 10. He might have been 13. I want to say maybe around the 13 mark. I said, you got to show me that you are capable of getting put on a fantasy team because I don't want you right now. Prove me wrong. And you know what? He didn't show anything. He didn't do anything. Big loss for the Browns, but you know what? They're a running team anyway. That's what they do. They have a great offensive line, run the damn ball, play hard defense. That's their game right now.
Yes, you're right. The Browns, they're currently sitting at the number 6 spot in the AFC playoff picture. Can you give me a prediction right now? Do the Cleveland Browns make the playoffs this season?
Tough schedule. They got the Ravens coming up. Man.
Steelers.
It's. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no because the Browns suck. History-wise, the Browns just suck.
I agree with you, Max. At the beginning of the season, I actually put $20 on the no that the Cleveland Browns would be missing the playoffs. So I'm definitely surprised by their 6-3 start, but they're not going to be able to get it done with Dorian Thompson-Robinson and PJ Walker.
Yeah.
All right, moving along here, but staying in the NFL. We got breaking news out of Louisiana. This time, Michael Thomas, New Orleans Saints wide receiver, he was arrested on Friday night.
What'd he do?
He was arrested on misdemeanor charges of simple battery and criminal mischief near his home in Louisiana. Thomas got into it with contractor Luis Cifuentes, who is the project manager for a home being built close to Thomas's residence. According to Luis, issues with Thomas began 2 weeks ago when Thomas became upset that the construction crew was parking their vehicles on the street. Again, according to Luis, Thomas said that if the cars weren't moved, his vehicle would receive a brick or a bullet. Things came to a head on Friday night when allegedly Michael Thomas rolled up, grabbed 2 bricks, and threw them at Luis's truck. Luis then started recording the incident, and that's when Thomas grabbed Luis's phone and pushed him to the ground.
Oh,
What do you think about this, Max?
I think we're clear to go ahead and say I nominate Michael Thomas as one of the biggest douchebags in the NFL this year. Everybody, all right. We need more. We need more. I mean, we're already halfway through the season. We only have anyone else? Do we only have him so far?
We definitely have Michael Thomas, and I thought there might have been one more, but maybe there's not.
We nominated James Harden already in
Sure,
the
sure.
NBA.
NBA.
Yeah. But as far as the NFL goes, I think we only
Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor.
I think it was Jonathan Taylor. But you know what? Jonathan Taylor's making up for his douchebagginess.
Little by little.
But Michael Thomas by far biggest douchebag. This guy picks up a brick and throws it at his neighbor's car because there's construction going on with this house. Oh my, he must be having some sleepless nights in that big old mansion that he probably has.
Man.
Oh my goodness, what a prima donna.
Seriously, sounds like a freaking Karen. Michael Thomas, he still played this Sunday. I don't know. Chris Olave was arrested and he still played. Michael Thomas gets arrested. He still plays that week.
Hold on. Chris Olave got arrested too?
A couple weeks ago for speeding, I believe. Chris Olave would. So Michael Thomas, he still played this Sunday. He had 1 catch for 9 yards before suffering a fairly significant knee injury. Now, I'm going to say karma's a bitch. Karma's a bitch, Michael. Definitely NFL's biggest douchebag. The leader in the clubhouse right now has to be New Orleans Saints wide receiver Michael Thomas.
If anybody else knows of any good stories along the NFL right now for NFL's biggest douchebag, please, we need to start racking them up because last year we didn't start doing the biggest douchebag until about January.
Sure.
So I'm sure we got time. We got time here.
But I mean, Zay Jones was just arrested for domestic violence. Jaguars wide receiver, so throw him in the category too.
We'll let's look that up and see what's going on with that, and we'll get back to everybody and whether or not we'll nominate him. But definitely Michael Thomas, everybody, yeah.
Max, I hear a familiar noise. It's kind of faint. I really can't make out what it is. I haven't heard it for a couple of weeks. It's the Gooses.
I thought I had to call the exterminator. I think there was cockroaches or something.
Cockroaches.
Something crawling, but no, that's just a goose.
I couldn't tell at first.
Gooses.
Couldn't tell at first. I thought they went south, but the Gooses are back, and we just want to take a couple minutes right here to make fun of a few people in our league that got goosed or got negative points in their fantasy matchups last week. And we got to start right here in Denver, Colorado, in the Kobold household, because I got goosed. And Kelly, my wife, got goosed. We both got goosed by our defenses this week. I got goosed by the New Orleans Saints. That's a pretty solid defense. They were at Minnesota. After this goose, they're now ranked 6th. They're going on a bye, and then they'll be at Atlanta. I'm staying strong with the Saints. I'm not worried about them. On the other hand, Kelly, she had the Commanders in there at Seattle. Sleeping. They're now the 32nd ranked DST. They're last, okay? But hear me out here, Max. This week, they're playing the Tommy DeVito-led New York Giants, which is the best matchup for defenses. Are you hanging on to the Washington Commanders defense?
They traded away too much to make you right now. Like the Giants are probably excited. They're like, oh yeah, we can actually win one. And Danny DeVito, he's in the stand.
Danny
Danny DeVito's in the stands watching his nephew. He's pretty excited about it. I know it.
pounding hot dogs.
Pounding hot, no doubt. Really quick, everybody. Danny DeVito on Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Oh my goodness, that if there's one show that's funny, it's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I'll tell you right now, that show is fantastic. And and also watching his grandson play quarterback, that's also pretty funny. Not as funny as Always Sunny, but it's still pretty funny because he sucks.
He's fucking awful. They said he still lives at home about 10 minutes from the stadium, and his mom makes his fucking bed and cooks him all his meals. And yeah, this guy's a queef.
I wouldn't say biggest douchebag of the year, but definitely biggest queef if we have that.
Yeah. Gosh. The last goose in our Indie Lurches fantasy league was by a guy who's been goosed a lot. I think he's second in our league for most gooses. It's Bobby Gard, our boy Bobby. This time he got goosed by Jahan Dotson.
Oh man.
Jahan Dotson played on 95% of the snaps. 95% of the snaps. Now, you get goosed a lot of times when a guy is playing, he gets hurt, or a guy's in and out of the lineup, whatever. Jahan Dotson was out there for 95% of the snaps. He's now the wide receiver 48 on the season, a lot lower than I had him going in.
Yeah.
The last 3 games before this goose, he had at least 8 targets in all 3 of them. So I don't blame Bobby for starting him. Last 3 games before the goose, he had 4 for 69 and a tutty, 8 for 108 and a tutty, and 5 for 43. And now he had a goose before that game, but so 2 gooses in the last 5 games. But he's at Dallas, then versus Miami before the bye. Are you hanging on to John? Definitely not dropping Jahan Dotson, but can you start him in your flex?
No. Against the Dallas defense, no way. No.
Moving along here on the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast, let's get into our NFL game picks.
Yeah.
Week 11 slate here, Max. We got 4 teams on a bye. Two of them coming from the NFC South, both of our champion picks of that division, the Saints and the Falcons, followed by the Colts and the Patriots coming off their Germany trip. So those 4 teams are going to go on a bye. Tomorrow night, Thursday night football on Prime Video, we got a divisional matchup here. We got the 5-4 Cincinnati Bengals. They just got beat by Houston at home last week, surprising.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're going in to Baltimore to play the 7-3 Ravens. They squandered away a game last week against the Browns. They were up 14-0, 24-9 in the third, ended up getting beat. Both these teams coming off a loss. Where are you going in this Thursday night matchup, Max?
This might be the best Thursday night matchup of the year.
Maybe.
I don't remember going too far back, but as far as most recent compared to last week, freaking Bears and Carolina Panthers, Jesus.
Oh yeah.
I am gonna go ahead and go the Bengals with Joe Burrow. I am going. I think this is gonna be a juicy game. As far as stat line goes, I'm not seeing it. I'm not starting Joe Burrow. The Ravens defense. It scares me. It makes me nervous.
Good.
But I could definitely, especially since the Ravens struggled last week against the Browns and gave up such a big lead, I could see this coming down to the final 2 minutes.
This is going to be a good game for sure. Divisional matchup. Both teams with losses at home last week. These kind of toss-up games. I'm looking at the defense. I'm looking at the home team. I'm going Ravens. I'm going opposite you right here off the bat. I'm going Ravens to take over this division to go to 8-3.
Nice.
Moving into Sunday, the morning games. We got a divisional matchup here to lead us off. The 6-3 Steelers going to Cleveland to take on the also 6-3 Brownies. Both teams have won 4 of their last 5.
Yeah.
Are you confident in the Browns and their rookie quarterback?
I was, until this whole, because I picked before I picked the Browns originally before I heard about the Deshaun Watson scenario. I'm going the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going them. I think that they both have good defenses. If we're going to talk a better offense, it's still both not that great. But I think the Steelers have been picking it up. At least they really have been. They're doing a lot better on the ground with Jalen Warren and Najee Harris. They're both doing solid, better, better than what they were in the beginning. I'm going the Steelers. I'm going Mike Tomlin.
The Steelers are definitely picking up the running game. Jalen Warren and Najee Harris, I believe, both found the end zone last week. I don't have confidence in Dorian Thompson Robinson for Cleveland, the rookie out of UCLA. I got to go with the Steelers here. Both teams in the playoffs right now. Both teams in the playoffs right now.
How about that?
Moving along in Sunday, another divisional matchup. A lot of divisional matchups this week, Max. This time in the NFC North. Your 3-7 Bears coming off a Thursday night win. They got a little extra rest over those Panthers. They're going into Detroit to get their ass whipped by the 7-2 Lions. The Lions have won 2 in a row after they got their ass whipped by the Ravens. I already said it. I got Lions at home, baby.
Easy one. I got the Lions at home. Lions are looking great. Bears suck. Oh, but Justin Fields is back, so it might be. Oh, okay.
That's right. Bears are back.
Maybe.
Justin Fields is back. I'll probably put him in my lineup in our Queef league. I've been holding on to him in that league, so I'll probably be starting him.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Moving along, we got the 4-5 Los Angeles Chargers going to Green Bay, Wisconsin to take on the 3-6 Packers. Both teams are coming off losses. The Packers, they can't really score. I don't think they can score enough to keep up with the Chargers. We keep picking the Chargers on this freaking podcast. They keep losing, but I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm picking the Chargers again in Green Bay.
Maybe we should pick Green Bay so then the Chargers can actually win. I think it's one of those scenarios. Same thing with my Bears. Usually if I pick them, they lose. I am going to go to the Chargers. I think Green Bay sucks this year. But the Chargers, man, it's a coaching situation there, man. They're so disappointing. They're just so disappointing. The offense looked great last week. You still lose. And I don't know. It has to be something with the coaching. Defense always sucks. Why is their defense always suck? I don't understand it.
Yep.
Chargers.
You picked the Chargers, right?
I picked the Chargers. I bashed it on them, but I still picked them.
Okay. Next up, staying in the morning games, the surprising 5-5 Las Vegas Raiders. They're going on the road. They're traveling cross country here to take on the 6-3 Miami Dolphins. The Raiders, they're on a 2-game winning streak since they cleaned house. Dolphins coming off a bye after they lost to the Chiefs overseas. This is too long of a travel for the Raiders. They're not talented enough. Dolphins win this game coming off a bye.
I got Dolphins, and I am excited to be starting Tua. He's back in the lineup after starting Joe Burrow last week. Joe Burrow had a great game, but against the Ravens, I'm not excited about it. Tua against the Raiders. Okay, let's go Tua.
The 2-8 New York Giants, losers of 3 in a row. They're going on the road in a divisional matchup to take on the 4-6 Washington Football Queefs. They've lost 3 of their last 4 after trading away their defensive line. Both teams suck. Both teams are irrelevant. Don't watch this game. I'm taking the Football Queefs at home.
I got the Football Queefs as well. I think Sam Howell is actually underrated.
Oh,
he's looking good. I like what he's been doing, but what a crap game. But go Football Queefs.
Sam Howell, you're not going to believe it, but he's quarterback 5 on the season.
I can't believe that.
That's
cannot
nuts.
believe that.
Nuts. Staying in the morning games, the 6-3 Cowboys. They've won 3 of their last 4. They're going on the road to beat down the Pussycat Panthers, who are 1-8. Panthers, they got extra rest after that Thursday night football loss. You think that's enough time for Bryce Young to figure out this Cowboy defense?
No way. No way. Sorry, Bryce Young, but you were gonna get sacked 4 to 5 times. Whoa. I got Cowboys.
Cowboys in a blowout. Here's a nugget for you, Max. Your guy, CeeDee Lamb. He's the first player in NFL history with 3 straight games of 10-plus catches for 150-plus yards.
Nice.
My goodness, I talked about him a good month ago, saying I don't think CeeDee Lamb's a good receiver. I think he's a great receiver. I think he's special. I think he's different. Okay.
Go ahead. Sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
CD Lamb's a dog, and he's on your team.
His one-handed catch last game was like, oh my god. He just reached out, snagged it, and kept going. This guy's unreal. I'm telling you right now, keeper. I'm telling you.
Oh, thank you. Announcement here on the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. The keeper, him and Dak Prescott. Ooh, they got it going right now. They got it going.
They do.
Staying in the morning games. A lot of morning games this week. It feels like we got the 2-8. No, they're not 2-8, are they? The Arizona Cardinals. Am I
2-8? 2-8. That's what I got.
They're 2-8, huh? Well, whatever. Cardinals are 2-8. I don't know their second win. So they did beat the Falcons. They beat the Falcons last week. Okay, I'm queefing.
I wasn't even paying attention to that game.
I got them down here. I got them down here as losing. They won by 2 against Atlanta last week in Kyler Murray's return. Okay, they're 2-8 now, picking up some steam. Maybe they're going on the road to Houston to take on the surprising 5-4 Houston Texans. They've won 2 in a row. Three of their last 4. Just got that win in Cincinnati last week. I think that continues. I know Kyler's back. I know they got momentum, but I still think Arizona sucks. That defense is awful.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud is going to tear them up.
Oh my goodness. CJ Stroud, we've been bringing it up multiple times now. This guy might be he's rookie of the year. Come on, who the hell is a better
in the conversation?
Rookie of the year
in the conversation.
Texans, you got to be happy, especially after Deshaun Watson did his thing, and then you guys literally messed up the entire organization because of that. Now you got CJ Stroud, and you guys are back on track. Go Houston. I like this young team. I like them.
CJ Stroud has back-to-back games over 355 passing yards. He is averaging more fantasy points per game than Patrick Mahomes, Tua Tagovailoa, and Lamar Jackson. Whoa. Rookie quarterback CJ Stroud. Last game in the Sunday morning slate, we got my 3-6 Derrick Henry-led Tennessee Titans. They've lost 2 in a row and 4 of 5. They're going down to Jacksonville, played the 6-3 Jaguars. Jaguars got their ass beat last week, 34-3.
Last week. They played terrible.
Niners beat them. They had a 5-game winning streak going in that game. There's no way Tennessee gets this one. I love my Titans. I want to pick them. But Will Levis has come back down to earth after that 4-touchdown performance, and he has one touchdown in the last 2 games, I think. Jaguars at home, they have a comeback game after that ass beating last week.
Agreed. Not much more to say. I've been watching the Tennessee games, obviously, because I'm here in Nashville, and they don't look good, man. No. They don't. Will Levis had that nice 4-touchdown game, and I was like, "Oh, okay, here we go." Like maybe they're back. Maybe they're back. And then these past 2 games, like, oh my goodness, it's just terrible. It's not fun to watch.
Trevor Lawrence this season hit the most points in fantasy that he's had in a game. 18.6. This guy hasn't hit 19 points in a game this year. Trevor Lawrence, I believe the quarterback, 18. Not getting it done. Not getting it done this year.
No way.
Moving into the afternoon games, we got 3 this week. First up, we got the 4-5 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Just beat my Titans last week to end their 4-game losing streak. They're going to San Francisco, play the 49ers, who are 6-3. We just talked about their ass beating that they gave Jacksonville last week to end their 3-game losing streak. I think that continues. 49ers kick the shit out of the Buccaneers in San Francisco.
Easy going to kick their ass. Oh, did you hear that San Francisco got cleaned up? They actually cleaned. There was this big summit happening where all the big billionaires were coming together in San Francisco, including communist leader President Xi, and President Biden was there and everything. Oh, wasn't it just great that for months and actually for years now, San Francisco has been such a shithole, but because Communist Party leader President Xi and Communist Party leader President Biden they decide to clean it up for them. Oh, that's just so nice. It just shows to show you that you can clean up a mess if the government actually were to do something about it. So No more shit. No more shit and needles for right now until they leave, and then it's gonna go back to shitty San Francisco toilet.
They got good sports teams there. It's a pretty city. So they should keep it nice.
They
You
should.
got you got the Niners though too, right?
I got the Niners.
Yeah. Next game in the afternoon slate, the 4-5 New York Jets, losers of 2 in a row, going to Buffalo to take on the 5-5 Bills. The Bills have lost 2 in a row and 3 of 4. This is a divisional matchup in the AFC East. I'm obviously going to pick Buffalo. They're at home. They're the more talented team. The Jets can't fricking score. I'm going Buffalo at home.
I'm going Buffalo too, but I think us picking Buffalo for the Super Bowl, man, they look like crap. They 4 turnovers last game. 4 turnovers against the freaking bums of Denver.
Oh, we'll get to those bums here in a second.
Yeah, sure. They fired their offensive coordinators. Hopefully that turns it around, because this is not the Bills team that everyone was expecting.
Yeah. The Jets, not a season they were expecting with Aaron Rodgers coming into the season. They haven't scored a touchdown in the last 2 games, Max. They haven't scored a touchdown. They have 3 offensive touchdowns in their last 5 games, all scored by Breece Hall. He had a 78-yard scamper, a 50-yard screen pass, and an 8-yard plunge. 3 offensive touchdowns in the last 5 games for the New York Jets, yet they're still 4-5. That defense.
That defense is good. Okay. I got them on my fantasy. I have a backup defense, everybody, because I have the Cowboys. I was like, you know what? Maybe depending on matchups, give me those Jets.
Very good options there. Last game in the afternoon slate, a NFC West showdown. The 6-3 Seattle Seahawks, winners of 3 of 4, going to LA to take on the 3-6 Rams. They've lost 3 in a row and 4 of 5. I think that losing streak continues. Matthew Stafford's probably going to be back. Obviously, that's a big upgrade from Brett Rippon. But the Seahawks are going to get this one done on the road. I believe this was a week 1 showdown, and the Rams went up to Seattle and beat them. But Seahawks are going to get some revenge here.
Seahawks got this one. Seahawks are starting to come back alive, it looks like, after a huge, brutal beating 2 weeks ago. Last week was a good one.
Week 1, the Rams went up to Seattle and beat them 30-13. So a little revenge coming for the Seahawks here. Sunday Night Football, primetime NBC, baby. The 6-4 Minnesota Vikings. Probably the hottest team in the NFL. One of the hottest teams. They've won 5 in a row. They're coming here to take on another hot team, baby. The Denver Broncos, winners of 3 in a row. They're sitting at 4-5 now. They beat the Chiefs and the Bills the last 2 games. The Broncos have beat the Chiefs and the Bills. You want to call them bums? They're winners of 3 in a row.
Bums.
Put your chest out and pick them on
the homeless
night.
guy that you saw walking from your job this I'm stumbling my words, damn it. The homeless guy that you saw walking home from work, they said, hey, you know what? How about you play for the offensive line this week? It's all good. We'll get you a sandwich or a hot dog.
I got the body for the offensive line.
Nacho helmet. Bums of Denver.
I'm gonna put my chest out on the table. I'm gonna pick the fucking Broncos.
Oh my god. Okay.
They went Sunday night. They went Monday night. Now they're back on Sunday night. Broncos, baby. They might have figured something out. You know, last week I was on here calling Sean Payton, Russell Wilson queefs. But since you want to call the Broncos a bunch of bums, I'm going to take them. 3-game winning streak. I know the Vikings are hotter. 5-game win streak. Vikings are more talented. We'll see about TJ Hawkinson. We'll see if we'll see if he suits up. We'll see if Justin Jefferson plays. Whatever. I'm taking the fucking Broncos. Let's go. Go Cobes.
I got the Vikings. Joshua Dobbs is looking really good, and he's no bum. How about that? He's no bum. He's got pants on.
Probably
he's got pants. He's got pants, shoes on. Definitely cleans his butthole. Dysentery might be affected. It might be affected here in your Denver bums. So be ready for that.
You think Joshua Dobbs shits daily?
He's definitely not taking pointers from fucking Russell Wilson. So yeah, he definitely shits daily.
That was one of our douchebags for last year, Russell.
Yeah, I wish we had more stories from Russell. We don't have any.
Yeah,
nothing. You're in Denver.
Couple of losses will pile up. Something will come out.
All right. Probably a poop. That's what will come out. Maybe a poop.
I think he needs to fucking Russell.
That's what's maybe that's what happened. Actually, he did take a dump,
Yeah,
and now they're like,
finally.
"Oh, 3-game win. See, Russell." Sean
Yeah,
Payton's like, "See, that's why we went out for enchilada night because you have to poop, Russell. You got to poop."
that's what he used to do with Drew Brees, huh? Last game on the Week 11 slate. Monday Night Football, ESPN primetime, baby.
Ooh,
This is the game of the week, the
game of
juiciest
the week.
matchup. Both these teams are coming off a bye. The 8-1 Philadelphia Eagles are going to Kansas City to take on the 7-2 Chiefs. Get your freaking popcorn ready for this one, Max. I'm going to take the Chiefs at home. I like the Eagles. I like the tush push. I don't know if I really like the tush push. It's more like rugby to me. I'm taking the Chiefs at home. Think Kelsey has a big game. Isaiah Pacheco gets loose for at least one. I'm not going to guarantee it here in game picks. I'm not going to guarantee nothing. Chiefs at home though. That is what I'm going to guarantee.
I also have the Chiefs at home. Best game of the week by far. I can't wait to see it. Maybe it's a shootout. Maybe.
Yeah. Moving in to our last topic for this week's episode of the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. I'm Matt Cobold here with Max Faulkner. Max, give us this is the week 11 Extra Juicy Dawgs.
Mm.
Oh. Give us your quarterback for this week, bro.
Glasses are on for this one, so I can read some extra juicy stats.
Give me them.
Extra juicy stats for my extra juicy dog for this week. I'm going CJ Stroud. Okay, this guy, we already brought him up, is red freaking hot. He's going up against Arizona, which is ranked 25th against the pass. Last two games, we already brought him up 470 yards for 5 touchdowns. That's 48 fantasy points. That was against the Bucks. Last week, he had 356 yards with 1 touchdown, 1 rushing touchdown as well. That's 21.8 fantasy points. He's going to have a big game against Arizona. Houston is sniffing the playoffs.
Houston is sniffing a freaking wild card. I can't believe it. CJ Stroud, rookie of the year. We already said that. I just can't believe he's averaging more fantasy points per game than Patty Mahomes, Tua Tagovailoa, and Lamar Jackson. That's nuts.
Definitely.
My extra juicy quarterback for week 11. I'm going to San Francisco. I'm going to pick Brock Purdy here. Okay, not a guy that's probably in the top 5 of your rankings, but if you're in a QB controversy, you got a decision to make, you can feel comfortable putting Brock Purdy in your lineup this week. He's quarterback 11 on the season. I mean, he's a high-end QB2, low-end QB1. He's coming off his second best fantasy performance of the season last week at Jacksonville, coming off the bye, where he threw for 296 yards and 3 tutties. He's been better than Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence this year, ranked better than both of those guys. They're 11.5-point favorites at home over Tampa Bay. The Bucs are 29th against quarterbacks. Should have all his weapons healthy. You can fire up Brock Purdy this week.
I like it.
Who's your extra juicy dog at the running back position?
Oh, we are going to the Lions, baby, and David Montgomery. Okay, a lot of people might have thought Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm going David Montgomery. This two-headed monster they have. They're taking on Chicago. Chicago's ranked 20th against the run. Last game, coming back, because David Montgomery had a 3-game absence, immediately gets back into the mix, has 116 rushing yards, a touchdown, 21.6 fantasy points. I'm telling you right now, I'm guaranteeing him. My buddy Mr. Tutty with David Montgomery, baby, against his old team. Apparently, they didn't want him.
Revenge game.
Chicago didn't want him. I knew letting him go was not a good idea, and he's gonna make him pay.
David Montgomery's having a hell of a year. I had him in my top 20 coming into the season, but I guess I didn't have him high enough because I didn't get him in drafts.
Yeah.
My extra juicy dog at the running back position for week 11. I had this guy last week. And he let me down. I'm going back to him. I'm getting greedy. Tony Pollard, okay? Going back to Tony Pollard this week. He's running back 20 on the season. He's top 12 at the running back position in carries, receptions, and targets. He's getting the volume. He's the only player in the NFL. Let me say that again. He's the only player in the NFL with 12-plus touches and 55-plus yards in each game they played. 12 plus touches and 55 plus yards. He's the only player to do that in every game he's played this season. Dallas, they're 12.5-point favorites against those Pussycat Panthers of Carolina. The Panthers are 31st against running backs. He still hasn't scored since week 1. I think that's ridiculous. Tony Pollard hasn't scored a touchdown since week 1. I guaranteed him last week. The Cowboys put up 49 points, and he didn't score. He didn't score. Cowboys scored 49.
CeeDee Lamb got a rush in there. He got a rushing touchdown instead.
That's fucking nice to hear.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb's a beast. But I think this week, I've got confidence in Tony Pollard. I got confidence in the Cowboys, giving them the volume. My buddy, Mr. Tuddy, I'm going back to it. He let me down last week. If he lets me down again this week, I won't pick him again. I won't pick him again if he doesn't score this week. Tony Pollard's on my shit list if he doesn't find the end zone.
Oh man, oh jeez.
Yeah, I'll find something out about him and nominate him for douche of the year. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
That's how serious I am about this.
Apparently that's his fault. Apparently it's his fault. It's not Mike McCarthy's play call, which Dak Prescott throws the ball like 50 times a game.
Well, they think they figured something out, and I mean, definitely. It's working with CD. It's working with CD.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Who's your extra juicy dog at the wide receiver position?
I'm going with a familiar face, but I don't even know if we talked about this guy in an extra juicy dog segment. I'm going Mike Evans of the Buccaneers going up against San Francisco. Okay. San Francisco, believe it or not, they're ranked 24th. 24th against wide receivers. And Mike Evans is a big dog. Okay. Last week, this guy had 6 catches on 10 targets, 143 yards, and a touchdown. That's 24.3 fantasy points. This guy's ranked 9th. In our league, he's ranked 9th for wide receivers, a top 10 wide receiver still. He does it every year, I swear. Last year was his down year. He's back. He's back. He's ready to go. He's rolling. Mike Evans is looking like a stud. I'm not guaranteeing a touchdown.
Oh, come on.
I wanted to. But I'm not guaranteeing it with a red-hot San Francisco team.
Yeah, Mike Evans is having a heck of a year. I didn't know he was top 10. Jeez. I don't know if you saw the touchdown that he dropped on Sunday. He actually dropped one, and he came out and said that because he was so wide open, nobody was even by him. He just dropped it. He queefed. He said he was thinking about which fan to give the ball to after he scored, and that's why he dropped it. Don't know if he was joking or not, but that's what he said. My extra juicy dog at the wide receiver position. I'm going to a juicy game down in South Beach. I'm going Tyreek Hill. Okay. Now, I'm not going out on a limb and picking this guy this week, but I think he's going to have a big game. He's wide receiver 1 on this season. He's the big dog. He leads the league with 1,076 receiving yards and 8 receiving scores. He's rested coming off the bye. 13.5-point home favorites over the Las Vegas Raiders. This game has a 46.5-point over-under that's tied for the 3rd highest on the week. Now, the Raiders, they're pretty solid against wide receivers. They're 7th. They're top 10. They're 7th.
Yeah.
But Tyreek is matchup proof. There's nobody that can run with him. I think he gets loose. I think they hit the run game. Devon Achane might be back. Raheem Mostert gets loose. They keep pounding it, and then Tyreek Hill's going to get loose deep for my buddy, Mr. Tuddy. Tyreek Hill, week 11, is going to score against the Raiders. Don't call me greedy, but that's my second guarantee this week.
I like it. I like that. I like that you're getting a little greedy there.
Greedy season, it's almost Turkey Day. It's almost Turkey Day.
Can't wait.
Greedy.
God.
Whoa.
So hungry for that turkey.
Finish us up here with your extra juicy dog at the tight end position for the week 11 slate.
I almost went 4 weeks in a row with Dalton. Or with a Dalton, because I did Dalton Kincaid 2 weeks in a row. Then I did a Dalton Schultz last week.
Talk about greedy.
I was looking at Dalton Kincaid. I'm like, well, he's got another good matchup this week. And then I'm like, he scored a touchdown last week. Just so we're clear, Dalton Kincaid's the man. Okay,
he's good.
Why am I talking about a Dalton when I got Sam Laporta this week against the Chicago Bears? All right, Chicago Bears are ranked 27th against the tight end. Okay, Sam Laporta better be in your lineups. He's ranked 5th. Okay. Sam Laporta is a top 5 tight end.
Okay.
And the past 4 games, this guy is on average he's averaging 4 targets in the last 4 games. Okay. That's a lot of targets for a tight end. You better believe this guy. I'm not guaranteeing anything. Not guaranteeing anything. I'm not getting too greedy.
Only one this week.
Only one this week. Only one. I've been pretty good. And you're not listening. You're the one that listened to Cole Breezy. Tyler Lockett sitting on your bench. He was your best wide receiver last week.
He was my best wide receiver last week. I benched him. For DeAndre Hopkins, who queefed on me, and then Brandon Ayuk. But you've gotten three more. You're leading the My Buddy Mr. Tutty section by 3 right now. So you're looking good. Hell of a percentage. One more time, who was your tight end?
Sam Laporta.
Sam Laporta potty. Okay. Detroit Lions. I'm going to Arizona for my extra juicy dog at the tight end position. Maybe a name that a lot of people don't know about, but I'm going to introduce you here to Trey McBride. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
He's the tight end 15 on the season. He's coming off of 8 catches for a career high 131 receiving yards last week against Atlanta. There's not many tight ends out there that can give you 131 receiving yards.
Very true. Yeah.
This is the first Arizona Cardinal tight end to go over 100 yards in a game since 1989. 1989, Arizona hasn't had a tight end catch 100 receiving yards in a game. That's nuts.
That is okay.
Arizona, they're 5-point underdogs at Houston. They're going to have to throw to keep up. We're thinking it could be a shootout with CJ Stroud here. It's got potential to be a shootout because it's the highest over-under of the week. 48.5 point over-under, highest on the week. Houston, they're 29th against tight ends. Houston sucks against the tight end. I'm firing him up in my lineup this week. I'm starting him in my lineup in our main league. I'm not going to guarantee a touchdown. I want to. I think he can. Houston's 29th against tight ends. Going to be a lot of points in this game, but I'm not going to get greedy. It's not Thanksgiving week yet. You might hear 3 touchdown guarantees from me next week.
I might do the same.
Not this week. Trey McBride with a big game. I'm firing him up in my lineup. You can too. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for sticking with us. This week's episode of the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. College basketball is rolling. Fantasy football, we're getting close to the trade deadline. I got to send a text out tonight about our league.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's coming here in 2 days, I believe. Playoff pictures are opening up for the NFL and fantasy leagues. Like I said, college basketball, we got these tournaments coming up, and that brings me to my next point. Sunday evening, Max and I here are going to get together for a special Maui Invitational bonus podcast. Okay,
a short little pod.
We're going to break down the bracket. I think 5 of these 8 teams are ranked right now. It's going to be all in the top 11, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to look again. But it's going to be a great Maui Invitational. We're going to sit down on Sunday and do a quick pod on that. So be looking for that in your feed. Thank you so much for all the likes, comments, subscribers. Keep it coming. Keep giving us what you think. Max, tell the people how you feel before we get out of here.
Oh, thank you, everybody, for coming out to the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hey, we're also located on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Twitter, Instagram, and iHeartRadio. Let's not forget about it. Also, a new segment that has come out is the worst people in sports. And I just want to bring up real quick that I am loving the comments that everyone is like. We're having a big conversation about it. People are going after each other, not only just on us. Like they're talking about, like, we're having a legit conversation about the matter, and I appreciate everyone that is joining the fun. I mean, that's what it's all about. Let's have a little conversation about these things. So thank you, everyone, for doing that. And other than that, we will see everyone on Sunday for this Maui Invitational. Oh my goodness, Cole Breezy, this is the best Maui Invitational I've seen in a long time. I'm drooling more over this Maui Invitational than I am about the turkey that's going to be smothered, shoved in my cheeks like a squirrel in his nuts. You know what I mean? Just shoving all that turkey in there, mashed potatoes and stuffing, and oh my god, sweet potatoes, mashed potatoes, cheesy potatoes, lots of potatoes.
Lots of potatoes, lots of carbs.
Big carb day.